Let me know in the chat if you can hear me just fine. I think I was not even able to be heard a few moments ago. I had to get my mic turned on. So I apologize for that if you couldn't hear me. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so for some reason I'm not able to get this thing going. Okay, trying to see how I can refresh it. Okay, I think you can see my screen now. I'm gonna go ahead and go over to the ChatGPT page. All right, so step one, we have to set a sleek background to make the app visually appealing. We're gonna add soft gradient that complements the theme. We'll use the canvas widget for flexibility. So here is the code in Python. There is a canvas function that can be used. So we're just going to copy that and place it in the app. So there is a place feature that allows us to place the canvas at an XY location. So basically X equals 0, Y equals 0 basically means that we're going to put that canvas at the top, and then the relative width and the relative height is 1. Okay, and we can change the color however we want to, but we're going to right now just accept the default from ChatGPT. Okay, all right, so let's just go over to Replit, and if you could see, we have the Laundry Budget Pro app up here, but we're going to add in our lines of code, Control V, where we add the canvas. And I'm not sure. Let me see what it looks like if I stop and run. Okay, I stopped it. Well, I thought I did. Okay, I'm running it. Okay, I'm not seeing. Okay, let's look at the output. Okay, now do you see the light blue color a little bit? So that's a little bit of a change. That's the background color. And right now the family size, the low curve, they kind of have like a little gray highlight behind it. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's see what else ChatGPT has for us. Step 2, we're going to adjust the font size and the color for the labels. So instead of gray, maybe we get a nice um, accent color. So let's copy this. It says label font is a help. So the font is Helvetica. And then it's the size 12 and it's bold. And the label color is matching a dark teal. So let's see. So it lets you know that the family size is now um, having that. And what it says in the comment, it says repeat this style for other labels. So what we're going to do is look and see what's the difference between what we had and what is showing here. And then we'll go from there. All right, so we'll copy that. And we'll go to our Laundry Budget Pro. And I'm not sure if you could see it, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So the label family size, there's one already there. But let's go ahead and paste in what was given. The only difference here is for the current one, the label, there's no color, there's no background or anything like that. It just says grid, row, 0, column 0, pad X 10, pad Y 10, sticky W. Okay, so that's all it says. So let's go ahead and Control V. So what we just brought in was the label font, the label color, and so in the text family size, the font equals label font. We still have the grid, row 0, column 0. We still have the pad X and pad Y and the sticky W. Now we have a foreground. That's the font color. And it's called label color. And then the background color is that color, which should be like a teal color. Okay, let's go ahead and stop and run again. Okay, waiting for it to run by going to the output. Oh, okay. So if you notice, we have both of the family sizes. So we want to get rid of the old gray one. So here, uh, yeah, the second one is the gray one. So we're gonna just get rid of that, and that's to make sure that everything is okay, and we no longer see the output is here. All right. So that looks a little bit better in our application instead of it being grayed out. The the text is now teal and it kind of complements a little light blue in the background. That's nice. Okay, and so we're going to do the same thing for the loads per person per week, the total weekly budget, and the cost to wash. Okay, so we're going to just do a lot of copy and pasting here pretty much. So I think what we can do is grab this um, TK label, one for the family size. I mean, I think we already have a copy, but we also have the font and everything as well. So I'm going to Control C and I'm going to come down here and Control V. And I'm going to do a little bit of shifting some things. So I'm going to move this up there, replace it with the family size, and the font label, that color, grid. Um, it should be row 1 and column 0, same pad, X, pad Y, and sticky. So now I think it's safe to remove this second one and run it again and see what it looks like. All right. Coming right along. Okay. It's looking good, y'all. And I'll just have to do it for the other ones. Okay. So, let's see. I think I can just grab the the font label and the foreground and the background. I think I could do that instead. Control C. Yep, because that's the only real difference. And put that into the total weekly budget. And just make sure I didn't mess up anything and run it. Uh-oh, I did mess up something. Did you see that? I got an error. Okay, so it's like one long, um, it thinks it's one long message. Mainly because I think I need a comma between the quote and the font. Boom. So I think that should fix it. And I'm kind of glad that I got that error because that helps you know that I'm not perfect and then there's certain nuances that you have to be aware of when you go to code. So each attribute is separated by a comma. Okay, so I know in HTML it's not really like that. You all you have to do is separate the attributes by a space. So let's run it again. Hit the output. Okay, we got total weekly budget looking good. Okay. Let's do the cost wash. The cost to wash. Okay, so uh, cost to wash. We'll add a comma and then hit Control V. Now we'll go ahead and do the same thing for cost to dry. We'll add a comma, hit Control V. Now let's see how it looks. All right, looks good. So now we have all the labels changed to a teal color and a little bit bigger font. All right, let's go ahead and go back to ChatGPT and see what it wants us to do next. Enlarge the input fields with rounded corners and placeholder text. Okay, so we're going to make the input field look a little nicer. I'm going to go ahead and copy the code. It says we're going to be using the entry widget and or the ttk.entry and the ttk.style widgets. That's going to help us make a nicer. Okay, and then we have the placeholder text as well. So we're going to define a set placeholder function that takes the entry and the placeholder, and then it's going to insert the placeholder. The first one is a lambda event, and then okay. So this one is when we focus in, and that one's when we focus out. What's going to happen? Okay, so let's go ahead and take this code. One says T entry, enter your family size. That's what's going to be set in the placeholder. And then enter those per person. So that's another placeholder. So basically, you know how whenever you go to fill out a form, it kind of gives you instructions either underneath or inside the box, and then you can replace it with that. Okay, so that's basically what it's going to be doing. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like when we put it into our application. So I like to put functions at the top. So we're gonna put the right after the import. So between uh, the first few lines of code where we're setting up the root and everything, see, it's already saying from the Tkinter import TTK as if it knows that that's what we want to do. That's funny. So let's go ahead and insert our function, right? And we have a style and we have a configure. I think it might have done something with just placing it in. So let's stop and run. Okay. It says root is not defined. Okay, so we misplaced the root. We need to put the root before something. Because if it's saying it's not defined, that means it's looking for it. And so it has to be defined before we put anything else. So here where we have root on line 24, we're going to just create the main window before we do all that other stuff. So just going to relocate, Control X, and then right before anything that has a root in it, see line 15 has a root, so we're going to make sure that that root is defined before that. So we're going to Control V here. So now root is defined. Let's go ahead and try to run it again. And I'm so glad we're getting these error messages. It helps you to learn how to code when you see things that can go wrong, right? Okay, I don't know what happened here. Um, this stuff is covered up. Isn't it supposed to make the thing bigger? Okay, I'm not liking this. It's covering up everything. Okay, so the placeholder is not really working. So what we're gonna do here is take that out and just simply undo what we did. And okay, whew, that didn't come out very well. So let's see what ChatGPT has to say about that. Okay, so let's continue and so the TTK was not really working. I'm gonna move on to step 4, improve the button styling. And with that, we'll go ahead and copy that code. The T button, Helvetica, and then the calculate button, all that. So style configure. Okay. So as long as we put it before the actual button, we should be good. Before we actually do the button. But as you can see, it's doing the TTK dot button. So we're definitely gonna have to make sure that input for the TTK is there. So just like it shows here from Tkinter import TTK, we're gonna make sure that that's in our code. Alright. And last time IntelliSense kind of helped us, so I'm just gonna hit Tab to accept that suggestion, and then we're gonna go down It has to be before the button. Okay, here's a calculate. Okay, the calculate button right here. So right before that on line 65, I'm going to go ahead and insert the style. Let's see, the style is purple, so it's saying style is not defined. Okay, we have to define style. Let's see. I think style may have been defined in ChatGPT, right? Style equal TTK style. Okay, so this style was defined in the last portion of the code, but we took it out because it wasn't working. So let's try it. Hopefully it works. And we're gonna just put it right above and stop and run. Okay, we didn't get any errors this time. Okay, let's see. We might have to remove the old calculate button. So let's do that. Let's remove the old calculate button. Does look like there's two calculate buttons there. The old calculate button is down here on line 75 to 78. So let's stop and run. See what it looks like now. Okay. I mean, it's a little bit bigger. I would try to make it the same font color. What do you think? I think that would be the best bet. Let's see if we can change the font color. So the label, the button, the text, the style. Can we do a foreground? Let's do FG. That's the font color. Okay, it's trying to do white. I don't know. Let's just see what it looks like. And we'll just stop and run. Uh-oh, it didn't like that. So it didn't like the foreground and the white. What it says is, okay, um, unknown option. Okay, so within the style, within the button, there is no foreground and background. Let's see if we can debug with AI. Okay, so we move over here and see what it says. Alright, so it says basically remove that, initiate because doesn't directly accept these parameters, modify the style, um, configuration to include foreground equals white and background equals, okay, so we have to write out the word foreground and write out the word background. Okay, so modify the TTK style configuration. So let's see. Let's see what that TTK style configuration. Okay, see what the configuration is. Right now, the style.configure, the foreground is 555. Um, there's two of them. Oh, for the button. Okay. All right. So it doesn't have a foreground. Okay. So let's tab. We're gonna accept that because it actually gave us the option. Um, that is in the button. So let's go ahead and put it in. Let's remove it. Remove the bad command because I thought we could do FG and BG, but according to TTK, we can't. Okay. There on line 72, we're going to fix that by removing foreground and background from the calculate button. Okay. Now that that's fixed, let's go ahead and check it out. We will run. All right. Look at the output. Oh, okay. All right. That's a lot better. Oh, look. And when you hover over it, it turns white. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't want there'll be a white foreground. Maybe we can make it something other than white when we hover over it. Let's see. Okay, the one where it says foreground 5 5. Well, one says foreground white. So when it's white, we're gonna put something like yellow or something, just so we know if that's the right one. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's before you even hover. Oh, when you hover over it, it stays yellow. Okay, so what would be a good color to, well, actually, instead of having the background white, maybe we can do that. So I'm going to undo that and let it stay white. And then instead of the background being white, see it says T entry, T button. Hmm, trying to see. When you hover over it, it's going white, and I don't like that. I'm trying to see if there's another setting where we could change it. Hmm, because I believe we did hover feature. No, I don't see it. I think we didn't. We took it out. Okay, so right now we're just gonna leave it at white. We can ask ChatGPT how we can fix it, but for right now, that's okay. Okay, so for right now, it's okay. Notice that our window, now that the font size is bigger, it's kind of cutting off our text. So eventually we're gonna well, we could do that right now. We can resize the window, make it 500 instead of 400, not 5,000. So we stop and run and check it out. All right, that's much better. So now we can see the whole text box. Okay. All right, let's good. Let's keep going. let's go ahead and go back to ChatGPT. Yeah, I think the placeholder text wasn't working, and the family size entry and the loads entry. I know I kind of took everything out, so we'll readdress that later. Let's see. So we got the calculate button changed. Now we're gonna add round corners. That's our step 5. And we're gonna copy the code because there's the output frame is gonna be TK frame, and the background and the BD is to, so BD I'm guessing is border, and the relief is groove, and then it's on the row 6, column 0, column span 2. Okay, and then the output label. Okay, so I think I copied it, but let's go ahead and go and put in the output frame for the label. Okay, okay, okay. Row 6, column 0. Let's look at the row 6, column 0. Okay, output label. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert, Control V, insert the output frame. So let's see what happens with that. I'll stop and run it. Okay, something happened. It's down here. So I don't think that's really what we want. It didn't affect. Hold on. Oh, so the answer is going to be down there. Okay, let's look. Let's put in some values. So the family size will say is 3. We'll say load per week is 1. Total budget is 55. The cost of wash is $1.75. Cost of dry is $1.50. And we'll calculate. All right. Okay, so the output is down there. And the savings remaining is 45. The time to save for the appliance, it says 22.09944. All that. So we need to fix that because we don't want to see all the extra numbers and stuff. We just want to see like 23 weeks, right? Because anything over 22, we're gonna say 23 weeks. Because whatever's remaining for that last week, we'll just pay it on the 23rd week. Okay? All right. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and I'm thinking maybe change it from white to gray or light blue. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Either that or figure out how to get the background to be a different color so that you can see the white. All right, because white on white not showing up. Okay, so what we want to do, let me see what happened. Um, because I'm looking at two output labels. We have two, an output label and then the other one. We got output frame. Oh, one says pack and the other one says grid. Okay. All right. So let's keep going and see what else. I think we have one more thing. Final full code. Okay. So much like we did last time, I have pulled up a final code, what it should look like and everything. So what we could do is just see if all of it works. If we just copy the code. And if it doesn't work, then we'll just revert back to the last one we did. So what we'll do is we'll just do a control A, control V, stop and run, go to the output. Okay. I mean, oh, this one actually comes up. Okay, so this one worked. Enter the family size, enter the load, and all that good stuff. So when you click on it, see, it leaves, and then you're